Hi, in this video, we will take a look at how you can set up and apply a grass texture to a landscape. Over the course of this video, you will learn how to create, set up, and spawn static meshes to make your landscape appear covered in thick grass. You will be introduced to key properties and settings that will help you shape your virtual grasslands to fit your project's needs. Now let's check the prerequisites. Download the Open World Demo Collection content pack from the Epic Games launcher. Some of the content from this collection will be used in this video. Once the Open World Demo Collection is downloaded, add it to the project that you are using to follow along with this video by doing the following. Now, here we have created a new level and landscape terrain and applied in the auto material, which we have created in last video. And now on this landscape we will apply the grass. Now we need a landscape grass type and adding the grass and the auto material. So let's get to the landscape auto landscape materials and the landscape grass output. You can check our previous videos on how to create the auto material. Open up the auto material by double-clicking on the material inside of the content browser, then add the landscape grass output. Search on the search panel on the right side. Type landscape grass output, and selecting the landscape grass output, drag the same on to the material editor. Now on selecting the landscape grass output, check on the details panel, it's asking for the grass type. Now add landscape layer sample. Simple type the landscape layer sample on the search panel, and then select and drag them on the material editor. Select the landscape layer sample node under the parameter name input grass for the name, and connect the output from the landscape layer sample to the input of the landscape grass output node. This material expression allows the material and the landscape to talk to one another to ensure the right static mesh is used whenever a certain landscape layer is painted. When completed, you should have a material that looks like the following. Now to create a landscape grass type, right-click in the content browser. From the displayed context menu, go to Foliage, and then go to Landscape Grass Type and name it Grass 1. Open up the landscape grass type and add a new item to the grass varieties array. Double-click on landscape grass type and once opened, press the plus icon that is to the right of the grass variety's name. Add new grass varieties. Inside of the landscape grass type actor, look for the grass mesh section. Click on the input box that says none and enter SM field grass 01 as the search term, then click on the SM field grass 01 to load it as the grass mesh. This mesh is available in the Open World Demo Collection, which you can download from the Epic Games launcher in either the Marketplace tab. Locate and then download the Open World Demo Collection. Now set grass type. With the static mesh added, we need to set the following properties to ensure that we are spawning enough grass mesh and that those meshes are randomly rotated and aligned to the landscape terrain. Set the grass density. Because we want this to look like grass, we must spawn a lot of static meshes to make the landscape appear densely covered in grass. Now use grid as enabled. To make the static meshes look more naturally placed, this offset is their placement position. Set random rotation as enabled. And set the X value to have random height of grass. We can giving the static meshes used for the plants and grasses a random rotation. Make sure that the same side of the static mesh used is not seen all the time, adding to the visual variety of the scene. Align to surface as enabled. This makes sure that the static mesh used conforms to the surface of the landscape terrain. You can add one more grass type by clicking on the plus sign and repeating the same process. Here we have added SM Nettle Group, which again collected from Open World Demo. OK, on adding the second static mesh, save the grass type. And go back to the auto material. Here select the grass output tool and in the detail panel go to grass type. Search on the grass type, grass 1. And select the same. On selecting the grass 1, save the auto material and go back to the level editor. To make the landscape terrain look more realistic, you will often need to blend and paint multiple together or separately, and that is what the landscape layer blend allows you to do. Now let's to the level editor and apply the grass tool there. Now in this case, wherever we have applied or painted the grass layer, the grass will appear on them. So if we select the grass layer under the paint mode, both grass meshes are appearing on the landscape layer. One thing to note, whenever we are painting the grass layer, the grass mesh is appearing, but when we paint the auto material, the grass mesh is not appearing. So the grass mesh is limited to the grass layer, but not to the auto layer, even if the auto layer has the grass component. For this we need to add some layer blend. So search on the right side panel and type the landscape blend layer. And then on selecting the same, drag the same onto material editor. Now on selecting the layer blend, go to the details panel and click on the plus sign to have two different layers. Name one layer as auto and other one as grass. Idea is when auto material is painted, the grass will spawn on the grass automatically and will not appear on rocks. And secondly, if we paint manually the grass layer, the grass will spawn on the grass layer, or wherever the grass is painted. Then disconnect the switch layer node and connect the output pin of blend node to the grass output tool input pin. Now connect the output pin of the world align node to the input node of layer blend node, as shown. Now save and go back to the level editor. And again, try paint the same with auto layer. This works fine this time. That means whenever the grass layer the grass mesh is appearing, and whenever the cliff or rock layer is painted, the grass doesn't appear. Now the issue is with manual grass layer painted, the grass mesh doesn't appear, which was appearing earlier. So go back to the material editor and connect the landscape sample output pin to the input pin of grass layer in the layer blend node. The final connection should look like this. Now try painting with auto and the manual grass layer selected. Depending on the power of your development PC, when you start to paint on the landscape, the editor might become unresponsive as the grass is spawned. This is normal behavior as the grass is dynamically spawned after you have finished painting. Turning down the grass density in the landscape grass type while working, then putting it back up to the desired level when done, is a great way to help mitigate this as much as possible. You can try to add some stone on the rock layer also.
Hope this video helps you to initiate your journey into the creative world of Unreal Engine. Please like this video if you find it helpful and informative, and subscribe to our channel for newer updates and game development tutorials. Thanks a lot. See you in the next video.